Prayer in the military is under attack. That's according to the American Center for Law and Justice. The ACLJ reports that the organization known as the Military Religious Freedom Foundation is demanding the military cancel National Day of Prayer events at the Marine Corps University. Matthew Clark with the ACLJ joins us now via Skype to explain. Welcome, Matthew.
Thanks for having me.
Elaborate for us. What is the Military Religious Freedom Foundation doing?
Well, this absurdly named organization, it has nothing to do with religious freedom in the military and is actually on a campaign to remove religious freedom from the military. A very anti-Christian organization. It's going after, it has sent a demand letter, a legal demand letter to General Pratt and the command chaplain at this military installation demanding that a prayer service. What happened was that an email had gone out to the individuals there at the Marine Corps University, allowing them, inviting them to this voluntary prayer service held on the National Day of Prayer, which is not a violation of the Constitution. And what the Military Religious Freedom Foundation did was attack this, go after, and threaten this general with some very abusive language to file federal lawsuits against the general and the command chaplain unless they cancel this constitutional prayer event.
So what is the latest right now? What is the ACLJ doing to defend prayer at that installation and in the military as a whole?
Well, we've just sent off a letter to the general explaining exactly what this organization is attempting to do, how it fails time and time again in the federal courts and uses bullying tactics to try to silence religious liberty in the military, and explained in detail legally why this prayer service is not a violation. Now, the same group, the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, attempted to have a general court-martialed last year because of his participation in a National Day of Prayer event. That went all the way up to the highest echelons of the military, and the decision was made after our involvement in sending letters explaining why that should not occur, why a general should not be court-martialed for participating in prayer events. Those charges were dropped, were not brought, and that general was not court-martialed. We explained all of this in our letter, our latest letter, and we believe that this prayer service will continue because it rightfully should.
So the prayer service at the Marine Corps University, is that going to happen then tomorrow on the National Day of Prayer?
We believe that it will. We believe that it should. I don't believe that a formal decision has been made, but as long as the plans continue as they have been, that prayer will occur as it should.
Okay. My understanding also is the Military Religious Freedom Foundation also wants to remove Bibles from missing man displays. What's that all about?
Well, these are historic displays to honor our POW and MIA veterans who have been missing from wars gone by. These displays are housed at military installations and at VA hospitals across the country, have been for years, and it includes several symbolic items, including a Bible. The Bible specifically represents the faith of our military heroes. And that is something that the Military Religious Freedom Foundation cannot stand. They want every semblance of religion in the military removed. That cannot happen, and we have sent off letters to the VA and to several of these military installations that have caved to the anti-Christian attacks. What this organization does is they attempt to bully these installations, putting forward what is actually false legal analysis, which we have explained, and we hope that we can get some of those decisions reversed. This is something that is ongoing, and we're continuing to send out letters by the day to the highest echelons of the military as well as these individual installations.
So my understanding is that where things stand right now with that is that some Bibles have been removed from these missing man displays. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's how we first found out about it. And unfortunately, what RFF does is they send out a letter, they don't publicize it, and when they get a victory, that's when they publicize it. That's when we find out where their latest attack is. We've been dealing with this organization for quite some time. They're very sophisticated, but also use some of the most aggressive bullying language. And so we go immediately and send a letter to these installations explaining what the law really is. Because unfortunately, what happens is they attempt to bully these smaller installations around the country, VA hospitals, who don't have in-depth legal teams to analyze legal letters. And so they may cave to these situations, not realizing what is at stake here. And so we're there to send them a letter to explain what really is at stake and that there's no constitutional violation when honoring the faith of our men and women who are dedicated to defending our own religious freedom here in America.
What can Christians and people of faith do to help, Matthew?
Well, as tomorrow is the National Day of Prayer, praying for our military is first and foremost, but also taking action. You can join on to our letters at the ACLJ at aclj.org, signing our petitions and speaking out. This is really a public effort because when it exposes what is happening, what this organization is doing, trying to defeat religious liberty in the military, it really does make a difference. And we've seen tremendous victories when people just are willing to stand up and have their voice counted.
All right, Matthew Clark with the ACLJ. Thanks so much for your time today, and thank you for the work that you and other members of the ACLJ do. You are definitely in place for such a time as this.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for covering this.